So that made them the fiscal sponsor of the project, and implementation has been carried out by Maine Farm and Sea Cooperative. And so the 2023-24 school year, we had a lot of enthusiasm from school nutrition directors, and we got all the cases that we had sold and distributed among 19 local school districts, which was really exciting for us. I think last September we had around 140 cases left to sell, and those all got snapped up really quickly, and then a waiting list started for the sauce. And soon after that, Maine Marinara was proud to find out that we were one of only 2 minimally processed products approved by the Maine DOE. So that made us eligible for 100% reimbursement for our Maine schools through the local foods fund. The other being the monkfish stew that Susan could tell you a little bit about from Maine Coast Fishermen's Association. So the first year of production brought us to around 3,000 gallons of sauce, which equaled about 179,000 servings of the marinara sauce to Maine kids. Some of that in the form of taste testings that Ron, Alita, and I spent a lot of time going around to schools and carrying out, which was really fun, tasting with the kids and the nutrition directors. So with all the success of the first year and doing those taste tests and collecting data and taking in that feedback, we're aiming for around 4,500 gallons of sauce to be produced this year with a few recipe adjustments, maybe adding in some butternut squash. We're going to see how that goes, and the hope of getting the sauce into more rural school districts, maybe in northern Maine as well. So now that the initial grant funding from Kendall is coming to a close this month, we're looking ahead to expanding production and sustaining the project through 2 USDA funding sources. One is the Regional Food System Partnership Grant, which Doug can tell you more about as well, and the grant that many of you are familiar with, which is being implemented through Full Plates. That's the School Food System Innovation Grant that will hopefully sustain the project and keep it moving into the future. And we're now doing that work out of Fork Food Lab, sort of as our headquarters for the project moving forward. So yeah, that's the lowdown for this year.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Abby, and more on that effort out of Fork Food Lab a little later. But for now, I'd love to turn it over to Ibrahim, who is here with the Isuken Cooperative to speak a little bit about their role and experience as members of the collaborative. So I'll share my screen now, and Ibrahim, take it away. Are you there, Ibrahim?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Could you repeat the last part? I was having like issues with the.
Oh, that's all right. I was just saying that I was going to turn it over to you to speak a little bit about the Isuken Cooperative and the role that you all played as members of the Maine Marinara Collaborative.
Yeah, so with Isukan, they started like back in 2015 with their food truck and their farm. So they've been around to do, farm to table food, for Somali food, the most popular being the sambusa. And when Maine Marinara came with us with this collaboration, felt like it was a good thing for not only for Usukan but maybe Maine's agriculture as a whole, and this could be a good way to kind of reach, a wider audience than we would have had by ourselves maybe. So it was beneficial to both parties. And and the partnership's has been going really well. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ibrahim. And could you speak a little bit to the role that you played within the collaborative? So like um what you grew on the farm that contributed to the product, or yeah, speak a little bit about the farm. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so my role as a service provider, so can there with them mostly on everything. So they have a farm in Auburn where they grow all types of crops. They grow the vegetables for the sambusas there. Um, Mainly, we've also grown some vegetables for the Maine Marinara. Um, so Usuken, yeah, so they have they have a they are like seasoned farmers. They've been farming since back home, and for them to like kind of continue to do it here with Isukan, and to have the main Marinara collaborative help them in continuing it. I think well, it's just something that they've been doing for a while, and that they continue to do.
Yeah, we're lucky to work with you guys and get some of your zucchini and tomatoes, and had an awesome site visit with you guys this past summer. So thank you, Ibrahim, for sharing a little bit about Isuken and your involvement. Let's see what's next here. We're gonna get into, oh, we did that. These are some pictures of the site visit to the Isuken farm. We got some kale. It was a rough season. We'll get into talking about that too. Okay. So part of the Isuken cooperative's role in the Maine Marinara Collaborative was to provide social media marketing, both for Isuken as well as the Maine Marinara Collaborative. So I had the pleasure of working with Zamzam and Nazra, two young people associated with the cooperative, to spearhead this social media campaign that would promote both the food truck and the farm and Maine Marinara Collaborative. So I think we have Zamzam here today. Zamzam, if you want to share a little bit about the your experience managing this social media campaign, and maybe some stories about the things that you posted, that would be fantastic. I'll turn it over to you, Zamzam.
Hi, my name is Zamzam. Managing this weekend social media, this is my first time ever doing anything like that, so it was an experience for sure. Being able to, I'm not always out in the field with Sakana at all times. I'm not there to get pictures. I'm not there to obtain any posts or anything. But whenever they have events going on, whenever they're going to do their catering or whatever, I'm always there to post to make sure people are aware, people know what Scan has to offer. Mostly what I posted recently was about the partnership with Maine Marinara when they went to last 2023 last year at the Park Avenue School in Auburn, and then now this year at a little high school. I was able to get some experience with that one. The first day I couldn't do the second day where they're giving out the food. I was a little bit bummed. But I did the prepping and being able there to be in the field with them and get that experience and do what I usually do with them when they're getting ready in the food truck or when they get into cater was such a wonderful experience. Um, I post more on Instagram from my end because I don't have Facebook. So I don't usually post on Facebook. So if you ever want to catch any of my posts, it's on Instagram. I'm always posting on Instagram all the time, always sharing things on Instagram. My goal is to share when the next catering will be done, or like the next time they're gonna have their food truck at like any of the farmers market or any of the events coming up. That's my goal to share. And then also with any future partnership with the Maine Marinara. Man, I can't say it. I don't know why I cannot say it. Excuse my English. I'm I am bilingual, so English is not my first language. Um, um, we it's an experience. It's my first time ever, as I said, my first time ever doing something like this. So it is something that I'm learning to grasp, and I'm learning to get into the field of social media. I know people think, because I'm young, I'm all about social.
We lost you there, Zamzam. I think you're on mute.
Oh, did I just mute myself?
Yeah, just for a second.
Oh, see, I told you guys, I'm not all about technical. Like, I might be young, but still struggle. As the temperature rises, you will be seeing more posts of Spokane. You'll be seeing. My goal is to hopefully get onto Facebook posts more on Facebook, because I think they have more audience on Facebook. So we'll be posting more on there. That is the goal. I will have Nazra doing that. Nazra taking care of that Facebook post, and then I'll be taking care of the Instagram. If you guys want to see more contact on Instagram, that so can definitely follow on Instagram and follow on Facebook, so that way you can keep up with it. If you guys have any events or anything would like us to cater, you can reach out to us either Facebook or Instagram. I reply back on Instagram a lot faster than I do on Facebook. But as I said, Nazar is gonna run it, so she'll be able to respond back there as well. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I'm kind of nervous.
That was awesome, Zamzam. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zamzam and Nazra did a beautiful job with the social media marketing, telling stories about the farm, about their role with Maine Marinara and the food truck. And this all really culminated, like Zamzam mentioned, in two really fun co-promotional events for Maine Marinara and Isuken Cooperative at a couple schools in Auburn. And we've got some pictures here of that. Yeah, Zamzam, sorry to bring you back off mute, but I'd love to hear just a little bit about your experience at these events, and cooking with uh, the kitchen staff at Edward Little and at Park Ave, and how the food went over with the school community.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not at the Park Avenue one, but I was living through the pictures. But I went to the one in the Edward Little High School, and it was such a wonderful experience to be able to work with the school system on giving them more options, more variety, at least even for a day, for them to have a different culture food, so they can experience different cultures. They can experience different type of food. So it was a wonderful experience. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the second day we were serving it, because I would have loved to see everybody's reaction or feedback, or like how the kids liked it or how they didn't like it. That would have been a way for us to kind of improve on some things. If there were some things they didn't like, but I've heard great things. I've heard schools say they like it, the children loved it, so that's great. Um, the first day prepping it, again, these are things that I do on my daily basis. Like I know how to make some food, so I can make it with my eyes closed. So it was light work to me. But teaching other people was such an experience, because I had to like train my brain to be like, okay, they don't know it, you need to go slow. And then, they need to it's their first time doing it, make sure you're going at their pace so they feel comfortable enough. Part of it is, I look at it as like giving it back to the community, giving it back to the youth, because our youth is where our community starts. Our youth is where our community starts. So for me, it was an experience. I'm all about giving back to the community. I'm all about giving back to the youth and giving back to having a good outcome. So for me, that was such a wonderful experience. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of. So Ken, they're always giving back to the youth, always giving back to the community, which is why I agreed to do the youth marketing to be able to let the youth know, like, we're here, we want to get back to you guys, we want to make sure you guys are doing good because you are our beginning. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous.
Crushing it, Zam Zam. Yeah, thank you for filling that out a little bit. And I can say that it went over very well at the school. We had, what was it, Abby? The attendance for staff at the school went up by a lot, right?
Yeah, I think that usually staff there might be like 2 teachers that participate in what's on offer for school lunch, and at least when I did the Park Ave event, I think Chris said teacher attendance went up like 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sambusas were awesome, and they made this fantastic injera bread, which I ate. I probably my weight in. So good. And of course, it was all served alongside Maine Marinara. That was the co-branding piece. There was the dipping sauce for the sambusas was Maine Marinara. So a lovely way to tie that in as well.
Yeah, and then I wanted, wait, if you could go back a slide, I wanted
Yes,
to add
certainly.
on to that. Yeah, so I was at both events, the Park app that we did fall of 2023, and that was like I believe the first time that it's again, and this partnership kind of was at a school. So it was at first it was kind of like, oh, this is gonna be exciting, but also nerve-wracking because it was like we didn't know how it would go. We were hopeful, but so it went really well. Isuken was excited about it, so were our partners, and then so I think we did a day. I think it was a Wednesday and a Thursday is when we served, and Wednesday we did the prepping, kind of showing some of the school staff there as our partners how we do the sambusa. The cutting of the onions, the mixture of vegetables, seasonings. And then on Thursdays when we served it, we had great numbers. We served like Alita said, and Sam and Abby, we served the sambusas. We tried basically a fan favorite, and the injera as well. And it went really well. Students and teachers alike were very proud. I even had some teachers that I know come up to me after that, then like, oh wow, this was amazing. Our lunch was great. Do it more often. So it was a great way to have this like these Sukian food and that marinara sauce to kind of combine. So it was a really successful event. And then our second one was the Edward Little High School, which was this past May actually. And then yeah, so kind of, and then this was the high school, and then so kind of the same process of preparing it and giving it out to the schools, and it was another very successful event. So we're glad to like be part of that, just to kind of see how exciting lunch was for these schools, to have us add that to their lunch, which was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Ibrahim. Totally agree. Okay, and Ibrahim, I think you're still on deck if you want to talk a little bit to some of the challenges that we faced this season with the Maine Marinara Collaborative and Isuken.
Yeah, so some of the challenges we face is like the growing season was terrible for all farms, for Sukan as well, because like it rained a lot, so, which made it harder to grow or produce what we wanted how much we wanted to. Basically it kind of limited how much crops Sukan can grow. So we weren't like able to reach the numbers they wanted. And another challenge that we've had was the food truck was like in the garage most of the season then so it was kind of it limited us to going to farmers market, and so can usually during the peak season, which is the spring, summer, and fall. You know, we're at these farmers markets. That's how they get what's it called? A lot of business, a lot of people to come and order from the food truck there. There were also some events that, you know, we weren't able to go because they required the food truck being there and being in use. So it gets kind of limited, you know, some events for them.
Yeah. Definitely some challenges there. Oops. And how about some solutions, Ibrahim?
But yeah, so some solutions we had was so there were like multiple farms growing for the project, you know, so that was able to kind of make up for some of the crops that Usuken wasn't able to come up with. So that was one solution, to kind of have these other farmers also growing it. And then another solution for the food truck is like so this season the food truck is all ready, and we have you know emailed multiple farmers markets and told them, hey, this season Usuken will be here, and you know, and they're all glad, and the truck is ready, so that will be a good solution for them. I know that the truck limited them into going into these farmers market. So they're just really glad and ready to go to these farmers markets. You know, because it's been very beneficial for them. Um, and then another one is like, so our catering, we're gonna expand it to be a year-round. So that way, you know, even if the truck is down, they can still cater, because more people tend to want the truck in the spring, fall seasons, you know, and then catering gets less then, but catering is more in the winter. So we want to make it year round, be like, and kind of introduce that. And then with our social media team, Zemzem and Nazra will kind of help us in, you know, getting the word out in that catering is around year round. And so that's some of the solutions that we were thinking of.
Thanks, Ibrahim.
You're welcome.
I'll stop my share here. And I'm wondering if we can get Ron on the mic to talk a little bit about what's next for Maine Marinara, and then also speak to the Second Harvest Partnership progress.
We can do that. Thank you, Alita. Ibrahim, Zamzam, thank you so much for putting in the notes about Marinara. You did a lot of work, and I think it all came out so good. So there, you know, that was one of the major pieces of that Marinara New England Food Vision Prize, was really engaging the Azukin group, both to grow on the farm and then to do education events with the schools themselves. And part of that was that social media marketing spot. So overcame lots of obstacles every week. There's no way around it, and very, very proud of the work. Also proud to talk about the one piece around Marinara was that, you know, we were really transforming the food system. That's what Kendall wants you to do. It was neat to find out that this is the first project that Kendall has sponsored, where we were able to forward contract for sales to the institutions. And we also forward contracted with farms so that we were able to bring those items in. So those are two different directions that we've worked to really change the food systems across the region. So the Maine Marinara ends this month. And what we built to take that up is going to be the Second Harvest Partnership. And that was part of Fork Food Lab. And so we're looking at new projects down here to put together Maine Marinara, the Maine Greens Project collaborative that we also work on, and then the new work at Fork Food Lab to take farm seconds from small and new farmers, combine those with larger farms to create pureed tomatoes, pureed summer squash, or winter squash butternut purees, things like that, for other institutions to use as ingredients. So that's the first baton pass, is that Marinara now goes to the Second Harvest Partnership. And Doug, you want to tell them a little bit about greens?
Hi, Ron and I are sharing a screen today. I see that Alita is on the move, our intrepid organizer.
He just started playing loud music in the room that I think they were trying to kick me out.
Run, Alita, run. So you may hear some background noise here at Fork Food Lab, and it's actually a really good sound because it's the sound of construction. Fork Food Lab put out a recent newsletter. I'm just going to touch on this and then mention the greens that announced that with the reception of almost $900,000 in funding, they're going to be able to begin phase 2 of the build out here at Fork Food Lab, which will allow for, I think it's 5,000 square feet of processing facility for vegetables to be processed here at Fork Food Lab and to be frozen here at Fork Food Lab. So if you take a look at that newsletter, there's really great news in that the construction build out here at Fork is running on a parallel track to the launch of the USDA Regional Food System Partnership Grant that Ron just mentioned. The partnership grant, in part, is built around the 2 existing projects that we have going, the Maine Marinara Collaborative and the Maine Immigrant Greens Collaborative, both funded by Kendall. So we are really in the first year of our launch with Kendall, but the Greens Project was really built with the help and support of the Sewell Foundation, which focused on getting healthy, hearty greens into the pantries here in southern Maine to be accessed by our immigrant friends and neighbors who need them. Last year, towards the end of the season, we also piloted a frozen product, being able to, with the help of our friends at Midcoast Hunger Prevention, process kale and collards and other upcycled greens like cauliflower leaves and Brussels sprout tops into a chopped, blanched, and frozen product for access through the winter. So it's going to be really exciting to expand this program. The Kendall money is going to allow us to expand the Greens Project into 3 school districts for high school and middle schools in South Portland, Westbrook, and Lewiston. Both of these projects also support educational opportunities for learning how to cook with these greens. We're a couple months behind, but we're pretty excited to announce that here in Portland and in the Lewiston Auburn community with our partners at St. Mary's Nutrition Center in Lewiston Auburn, and within her presence here in southern Maine, the opportunity for community members to take cooking classes, hands-on, 4 classes in how to use these greens in the preparation of traditional African meals. So that's pretty exciting. This year, Ron, we're looking to go how many pounds for greens? Was it 30,000?
No.
It wasn't that many.
Yeah.
But it's about 6,000. But it's still a substantial increase. And last year we did a lot of hand processing in Midcoast. This fall, we're going to be able to partner with Atlantic Sea Farms, a kelp processor in Biddeford that'll be able to do processing runs of 5,000 pounds in a single day. And that is from fresh greens to frozen product. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so what I think want to do also with this partnership grant, and maybe there's an opportunity at some point as we start moving forward to talk about kind of what it really looks like as we roll it out this year. As Ron said, we're going to be working to aggregate from 75 miles from South Portland with farms and maybe some fisher folk, if we can work it out, to source product to be processed at large scale. I believe with Sam in Brunswick, and smaller scale farms here in South Portland. I'd really like to find a way to engage all members of this working group. In some way, there's a part for you over the next 3 years to help make this partnership grant a success. And one of the bigger challenges is really aggregating small farms and getting that product here to the loading bay at Fork. We've got some great aggregation partners and actually logistic partners in getting it here. Native Maine is one of them. So thanks and a big shout out for Native Maine, who's on the call today. We're talking to Crown of Maine. Brickyard is another one that we're looking at as far as trying to coordinate backhauling and maybe be able to move this produce in a really efficient manner. One piece of this project that Ron just may have missed is this project will also allow participating farmers to bring product here to be turned into a shelf-stable product that'll be turned back to the farm to be able to sell at their farmers markets. So if you imagine a farmer, say Maxwell's or Jordan, all of a sudden a big heat wave comes in at the end of strawberry season, and all those strawberries need to move, we may be able to take them here and turn it into a product, say strawberry vinaigrette, co-pack it, bottle it, label it, and return it back to Jordan's or Maxwell Farm. So that's another exciting opportunity to expand revenue for Maine farmers. The big through line for all of these is, again, upcycling produce that would normally go to waste, either on a farm or somewhere else in our food system. So we're really focused on, in this project, off grades, right? All your curly carrots, we'll take them and give them a home and turn them into a shelf-stable product for institutional use.
Woo, that's so exciting.
Sorry, we were crunched for time, so I took a deep breath and just went for it.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. No, that you did a great job, and we're gonna get into questions in just a minute here. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited about the soon to be available processed products on the market. Yes.
One last thing. We have finally completed 3 videos, and I know that we finally finished them and polished them off. I know I've shared them with you, Alita and Annie, but maybe that last email that I sent you with those 3 on it, we can share them with this full group. And I would just ask everybody to push them out as far as you can. They are part of our marketing approach as we recruit members for the cooking classes. These videos were done within her presence here in Portland. They feature fresh collards and kale, and then the use of the frozen mixed upcycled product. And I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Miset from In Her Presence was the cook and the chef who led the demos. But our next series of videos, I'm hoping, is to work with Momina and some other folks in LA about doing a very similar series of 3 that is really focused on the LA community, and working perhaps with Liberation Farms, Isuken, to shoot some farm video in the not too distant future to tell the story of from farm to plate for these greens, and to make it as locally focused as possible.
It was the
Fantastic. And yeah, I'm so glad that you brought up the promotional videos. I'll be sure to include those in the follow-up email to the group so that we can all be cross-promoting. Awesome. I'd love to open the floor for questions from the group about Second Harvest Partnership or Maine Marinara or Isuken. The floor is yours.
I guess we must have done such a great job. There's just no questions. I can't believe that.
While I think of a bigger question, I was just curious about the term you used, backhauling, and what that means.
Backhauling is kind of the concept of no truck rolls empty.
Got it.
So if you're doing a delivery, and I think Native Maine could probably speak to this too, You know, if you're doing your run and at the end of your run, you wind up pretty close to an aggregation site like Belanger's Farm in Gray. You know, is there a way among current trucks rolling to, again, backhaul stuff from a run so that no truck rolls empty on the road if it can be put to better use?
Amazing.
And there's going to be probably, maybe, I think, a bit of a mileage stipend that we can maybe work in here. You know, we don't want things, you know, free is great, but, you know, we should always try to compensate people for everything if we can.
Yeah. I have another question, but I'm going to stop, see if anybody else has one. Okay, then I'm going to keep going. In thinking about the local food switchboard projects and how we're looking to match make people who have processing, et cetera, equipment facilities with people who are looking for it. You all did that already with Maine Atlantic Sea Farms, and I'm just curious what that took. You know, if you could just explain the process of
Um,
how has that been?
Well, for those of you who are getting to know me, I'm kind of infatuated with the whole concept of kelp. And so I do a lot of reading on my own, you know, from its ability as a carbon sink for carbon sequestration in the ocean, to providing a second season for Maine fishermen to be able, especially lobstermen if they choose, to be able. Kelp grows in the winter. It's seeded, I think, and Susan's on here. She'll be probably more adept at this than I am. When it's first seeded, I think is late summer. Kelp is harvested and then processed in the winter. I've been following Atlantic Sea Farms for a long time. They're now the largest, I think, kelp processor on the East Coast. And I figured that if it's a seasonal crop, like we have summer seasonal crops like the greens, and kelp is a winter seasonal crop, what do they process July, August, and September? And is there an opportunity, if their machinery is sitting idle, to clean it, maybe maybe there's a couple different blades. But if you can process, chop kelp and freeze it, the theory was that you could do the same with collards and kale. So we did a trial run last fall. We did two. We went down, I had a mutual friend between their CEO and me. We set up a meeting. We went down and talked about it. They were just super excited and said, yeah, I think we can do this. So we did a trial run with the mixed blends, Brussels sprout crowns, kohlrabi, cauliflower, broccoli, mixed with kale and collards. And the product came out great. And when we taste tested it, there was no real difference. And actually, cauliflower leaves are sweeter than collards. They're sweeter and softer, and their nutritional profile is just about the same. So we were able to do a successful trial run, small batch. And it was great that we did, because the first week in December, I got a text from Penny Jordan saying that Nate Drummond had 900 pounds of kale that he just harvested in the snow. And could we take it? And within, I think, 24 hours, we had it in Biddeford at Atlantic Sea Farms. 3 days later, picked it up in frozen 2-pound bags. And it's now at the freezer here at Fork Food Lab. And we'll be using some of that in our cooking demo classes that we're about to roll out.
That's amazing. Thanks for talking about that, Doug. And did you have some kind of like formal agreement with them?
We will have an MOU.
Yes.
We did it. And again, this year, you know, and again, we're so grateful for our friends in Midcoast last year, but those were labor-intensive shifts with a lot of volunteers. And I think that's great, and we should always do that. But if we want to get things to scale, I mean, from what I understand, 5,000 pounds in a day from like backing a truck up, 3 days later, picking up frozen pallets, you know, we can really purchase a lot of greens, process them, and with the build out here at Fork, hold them in a freezer.
Thanks, Doug.
Annie, I think it's also, the value of the processing work group. So, Matt Chin had also been talking with Atlantic Sea Farms and looking for a broccoli processor. Matt and Maine Farm and Sea had worked together at Ocean Approved when they were still in Saco at a smaller scale. So we did some processing at their location in that same off season. So it's still that kind of same group of people and just having different ways that we can apply what we're looking to do. So I think it's really important to have the processing group where you can kick these ideas around.
Yeah.
And I also think, Annie, that if you are successful with that, with your grant, that it's really going to help the entire process. Because the less we have to move stuff, the less of an impact on climate change, and the more efficient and local we can be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And the less equipment people need to buy because you can share.
Right. One of the big things is, what do you have that you're not using off season?
Yeah.
Can it be repurposed or redirected?
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
But again, you've got to be able to have the resources to be able to compensate. Like Atlantic Sea Farm, I think, they really did everything they could to bring the price point of that processing down for us.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I see Catherine, I see Catherine's hand up, so I want to get to you before we shut down.
Yeah, I am sorry if I missed, I got busy with something, and I wanted to hear a little bit more about the seconds program that you are going to be working with or working on. I know some farmers that are interested in getting into that and wondering how are you going to be a buyer of seconds for farmers or helping them to find markets, or what does that look like?
Well, Catherine, I am so glad that you asked that question because I'm going to kick this back to our friend and colleague, Abby. And maybe we'll put Abby on the spot a little bit about what some of the work that Abby is going to be engaged in with Fork Food Lab and the partnership across the partners in this grant. Abby?
Thanks, Doug. I'm very happy to say that I accepted a position a couple weeks ago as we're still working on the title because it's all new, but I guess I've sort of settled on local foods sourcing manager or coordinator for these projects, and a project within Fork that's kind of a separate thing, but we'll consolidate buying for all of those platforms. So I would love to talk to farms that are interested in selling seconds produce throughout this season and establishing some relationships where if you have extras of any particular crop and you think of us, you call me up or email me and say, I've got this many pounds of this product and what can we do with it? And that the processing room, the processing manager that will be established in that room would be able to take it and do something great with it. Or it just gets frozen and can be available to the Fork Food members, can be made available in the emergency food system, wherever it makes most sense for it to go. And so we still have a lot of systems to set up and figure out how this is all going to work. But yeah, I can put my information in the chat, and I'd love to have people start reaching out anytime.
Sounds good, thanks.
Yeah.
And Alita, I see a question here that I'm just going to raise from Sarah. Do we have a way to list equipment that we need that someone else might have? And if you're not paying attention to the chat, Alita's response was basically this is what we want. This is why we're raising funds for the switchboard project, so that we can create this map of equipment that is needed, of people who are needing equipment, and matchmaking them, as well as other things. But that's one bucket that the switchboard wants to address. So if there's any other questions related to that, that's great. We have a couple minutes or anything else. And yeah, congrats, Abby.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm so glad you're sticking around.
Me too. I'm excited to be able to keep working with everyone in this group.
Cool.
Well, it is just about that time, folks, for closing in on 12 o'clock. I hate to shut down any discussion though, so if you do have questions that you want to bring up to me, Annie, the Marinara Collaborative, Isuken, please go ahead and follow up through email, and Annie and I will be sure to be in touch shortly with a follow-up email that contains some of the resources or questions that were brought up in today's meeting, and a recording that you can share of this meeting for your friends who may have missed out.
Thanks to all you presenters and people coming and listening in. And we'll see you in a month, I think.
Yes. See you in July, everybody.
Take
Thanks,
care,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Alita, I'll